he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Hey guys, it's Franky. Welcome to the Think Tank. So I was thinking, being we have another week of trial coming up, that maybe we'll just do a fast recap of what went on last week. So let's see what we've got here. Let's start with... Let's start with right here, I guess. So stepmom on trial for the killing of an 11-year-old. Sorry, guys, I got dog problems right now. Boy's dad on tapped Valentine's call. I don't kill people. Do you remember that? Wow. So the Colorado stepmother on trial for the death of her 11-year-old stepson told the boy's National Guardsman father on a recorded Valentine's Day that I don't kill people. So Letitia Stauch is accused of injuring her 11-year-old Gannon Stauch 18 times and then shooting him 3 times in his bedroom outside of Colorado Springs just a few hours before reporting him missing on January 27th, 2020. So this trial's been a long time coming. His father was a National Guardsman that was deployed. I do believe he was in Alaska and was let's go here. When the boy was eventually presumed dead, she was arrested in her hometown of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in March of 2020. And Gannon's body was discovered later that month in a suitcase. Prosecutors say that she dumped him off of a bridge in Florida Panhandle during a cross-country trek. So she didn't go out of her way, did she, at all? This is something that they're going to have to deal with, because they're saying that this is an insanity plea. Well, when you're going through all of the trouble that she went through, there'll be questions. So in taking the stand, the boy's father, Albert Stauch, testified that he began working with investigators when he realized his then wife's stories were not adding up. In one call that was played out in court on Wednesday, the boy had been missing for nearly 3 weeks when Albert Stauch called Letitia to wish her a happy Valentine's Day as detectives listened in. She was kind of catching on, wasn't she? During the February 2020 call, Letitia Stauch repeatedly told her husband that she wanted immunity before she would help. At one point, she blurted out, "I don't kill people." In another call, Albert Stauch asked his now ex-wife directly if she had killed Gannon. "Did you kill Gannon?" Albert asked. "No," Letitia replied. Okay. "Did Gannon die on your watch, whether it was naturally or for an injury?" he asked. Again, "Did he have an accident of some nature and you freaked out and covered it up. Each time Letitia Stauch answered no, Albert Stauch testified that he played along with a variety of accounts of his wife that she was offering about what happened to Gannon to try and find out the truth. Very hard, because does she ever have the stories, hey guys? He grew increasingly frustrated with her after she claimed a man, now get this one, Quincy Jones, had taken Gannon. The individual, according to Albert Stauch, was someone whose mugshot was easily found on a website for booking photos. In one call, Letitia told Albert that investigators were barking up the wrong tree. She claimed that the boy had had an accident and was taken by the man she had claimed to have met through Craigslist to purchase an exercise bike. Oh my God, the stories. He promised he was going to go back to his house to get some okay, hold on. He promised he was going to go to his house and get some bandages and call 911. So at this point, have they explained why? Letitia Stauch had previously said that Gannon had not returned from playing with a friend, but she did not provide the names of the friends he may have been with or the parents. She claimed that another man had R-worded her and then abducted Gannon. This might be Aguardo, the names. And then abducted Gannon, according to investigators. When asked why there were no signs of a struggle, Letitia Stauch claimed, "I cleaned it up. I got scared." She also tried to explain away the traces of Gannon's blood found by saying he had been biting his fingernails so badly that this was the cause. Can you imagine? Blood through a bed, but it was his, his fingernails. I'm done. Don't email, don't call me until you tell me where my son is. Enough, Jasmine. Albert Stauch eventually told his wife. Letitia was charged with first-degree tampering with a deceased human body, tampering with physical evidence, and she pled not guilty by reason of insanity in Gannon's death. Well, the defense said she had suffered a major psychotic crack as a result of childhood trauma when she did this to Gannon. Her lawyers have suggested she developed dissociative identity disorder as a result of being physically, emotionally, and otherwise abused by her absent mother's string of partners during her childhood. So, I mean, I don't know about that at all. I don't know what happened to her as she was growing up. But I do know one thing: because you've got childhood trauma does not make you grow up and do things to other people. I know that as a fact. However, District Attorney Michael Allen has repeatedly stressed that Stauch knew right from wrong, a key element he must show to disprove the insanity claim. And that is the thing. Did she know right from wrong? She absolutely did, because she tried to cover this up in the most extreme ways. In response to the question from Allen, Albert Stauch said that everything from his ex-wife's ability to coach softball to reluctance to talk to investigators about Gannon's disappearing proved she knew right from wrong. In questioning, Stauch's defense attorney Josh Tellini pointed out that Letitia Stauch had been seeing a psychologist in the months before Gannon was attacked and had been prescribed medication used to treat anxiety. He also said that Stauch sometimes referred to herself as Taylor. This is her middle name. And she said she preferred it to her actual first name. So it was, yeah, she liked to go by that sometimes. Not a sign of insanity. All right. So I don't, I'm not able to see the comments right now, guys. So chit chat away and I will take a peek when I'm done going through this. So Where are we going to go? Let's go here. So Gannon's father became suspicious of Letitia and began working with the investigators. I'm going to make this a bit bigger for y'all. There we are. El Paso County, Colorado. Come on. No, don't want it. The father of Gannon Stauch took the stand last Tuesday and detailed the moment he became suspicious of the boy's stepmom and figured she knew more about his disappearance than she was willing to tell him.
A manipulative liar. That's how Al Stauch described his ex-wife, Letitia, during the first day of testimony in Letitia's murder trial.
Let's go back up here because I think that was trying to bust through.
Manipulative liar. That's how Al Stauch described his ex-wife, Letitia, during the first day of testimony in Letitia's murder trial. Her lawyers say Letitia Stauch was legally insane when she murdered Al's 11-year-old son, Gannon, Letitia's stepson, in January of 2020. Al was in Oklahoma for National Guard training at the time. During his testimony on Tuesday, Al remembered Gannon as a resilient and loving little boy.
Oh, some of his favorite times, and all of his friends can attest to this, is just playing video games. I think he wanted to be a YouTube gamer.
According to prosecutors, after Letitia Stauch killed Gannon, she drove from Colorado to Florida with his body in a suitcase and then tossed it over a bridge. A bridge worker found the suitcase with Gannon's body still inside about 6 weeks later. In court, Al Stauch recounted exactly what he said to Gannon the last time he saw him, 2 days before Letitia shot and stabbed him to death.
You're always going to be in my heart, and I'm always going to be in your heart. And I'll see you when I get back. And he's like, okay, Daddy, love you, and I'm going to finish watching Pokemon. Remember it like it was yesterday.
Heartbreaking.
Letitia Stauch's lawyer says there's no explaining the fact that she murdered Gannon, except that she suffers from a serious mental illness caused in part by the emotional and sexual abuse that they say she suffered as a child. Kim and Tom.
Such a hard case. We remember when this all happened and how horrifying it was. And it seems like it's almost worse when it's playing out in the courtroom.
It's just heartbreaking to hear all the details once again, Tom.
All right,
Al Stauch described as...
It really is heartbreaking. So Letitia is accused of attacking 11-year-old Gannon in his bedroom on January 27th, 2020. Al Stauch was in Oklahoma for military training when Gannon went missing, was the first witness to take the stand. He flew home and immediately got involved in the search of his son. He said he found it odd that Letitia Stauch told him that she had rented a car to do searches for Gannon out of concern about going over mileage on her lease, because that makes sense. Things like miles on your car don't matter in an emergency, Al Stauch said. Letitia Stauch told him that she had left her car at the elementary school where she worked when she went to school. When he went to the school, it was not there. I think I know where he parked it. I think that's come out. I drove around the school 3 times just to make sure I didn't miss it, Al said. That was the key moment. She knows more than she's telling me. It was at the time, he said, he called the sheriff's office and told them something wasn't right, and later began cooperating with the investigators by taking part in pre-text phone calls with Letitia, and we know of those. Audio from several of those calls was played out during the court on Tuesday afternoon. They sure were. 2 days after Gannon went missing, Al Stauch testified that Letitia Stauch told him a man had broken into their house, R-worded and attacked her, took Gannon. He said he asked her why there was no signs of a struggle in the home. She said that she cleaned it up because she was scared. Letitia Stauch also provided additional information about the supposed attack in the audio calls when her then husband, he's got rid of this one. She said that investigators were barking up the wrong tree as they focused on her instead of the man that attacked her and took Gannon. Damn, the stories, eh? Come on.
Creep videos. No, super videos.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's wrong? Huh?
I'm tired of crying.
Well, happy Valentine's Day. You're welcome.
I'm not sure about you all, but do you find this a little bit nauseating? The tears and the, I don't know if they're real or fake, but if they're real, they're for herself, not for Gannon. This entire testimony the other day disturbed me greatly. This is over an hour long, so I'll just play a little bit. And if you guys want to see it, the information is all in the description.
Where's Lena?
Lena's at school right now. So, why? What's up?
I can't ask you where our kids are at.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. Where's Harley at?
She had to go to the doctor last night because she had a bad chest pain. She was 12 pounds underweight.
What hospital did she go to?
Because the store could be listening and know where we're at.
Tisha,
No, I don't know. You talk crap about me. You treated me wrong.
Where did I talk crap about you? I haven't said nothing to nobody.
In your school, posting all this messages you sent them how horrible of a person I was.
I can't even understand a word she said. Pretty much the entire hour and a half that she did this.
When did these messages come from? Years ago, maybe? I mean,
Don't know when.
but you know what?
Posted them to everybody.
But what have I always said about social media? I don't give a crap what people say. People are just looking for a headline, okay? We've
I'm tired of doing this hour. You should have talked to me about all the other stuff. I'm not.
oh, what other stuff, Tisha?
I've asked you for help. I said, hey, me and Harley needed something. I've asked you for help. You turned me down. You know good and well. Anytime you've ever needed help, I've been there for you.
Tisha, let's walk back through this now. Just to be straight up, okay? You took over $2,000 out of the bank account
Whoa.
at the beginning of the month, and I didn't say a word to you about it, okay? All right, that's like 1/3 of what I get every month. So you got 1/3 of my monthly income. All right, so that being said, I've also offered help and safety and teamwork the whole time, and you guys decided
I feel bad if I pay $50 for a bottle of foundation and haven't mentioned it beforehand.
to, step out on your own. And I haven't bothered you, but I've never looked back in there. I've never told you no for anything. And I've been.
Okay, well, I did pay $2,000. It was $1,500 because I had to have a place to stay. I kept begging you and asking that people should not have been in the home.
Okay, well,
It should have been nobody but your family.
You're right.
My family, your home.
Okay, I understand your opinion. So I want to clarify because you took however much. I'm not going to fight over the dollar amount. You took over $1,500 in that one lump sum, not to mention the other ones, but that one lump sum you did take $1,500 and some dollars.
So basically, if you want to go back, it is a whole bunch of him trying to get information and basically her crying and saying she didn't do this. So if you want to, check back because it is in the playlist. And I think 9 News has also got it, the whole thing. Well, they do. Check out this one. So in the auto, audio, Al Stauch confronted Letitia about why none of their neighbors' security cameras showed Gannon of her attacker leaving the residence. She suggested it was the angle or the directions of the cameras. All righty then. She definitely has something for everything, doesn't she? Like, she's got an excuse for everything. So at one point in the call, Letitia Stauch asked Al Stauch if he thought that she did this, to which he responded, "I don't know." Fair enough, straight up. Well, on the stand, Al Stauch described numerous incidences where the relationship, when she had been manipulative and deceptive. In one such instance, he testified that Letitia Stauch sent him an ultrasound claiming she was pregnant with twins. She never gave birth to twins, and he testified that she had never gone to a medical appointment related to a pregnancy. He said he was confident that Letitia Stauch never went to the doctor either. He also testified that she told him she was injured at the school where she worked by either falling or having a bookshelf fall on her. He said he never observed any injuries from this accident. No. Yeah. She's trying to say she's insane. She was not insane. Absolutely in no way. I hope that she's not able to trick anyone. He also testified that Stauch admitted to making up stories about burglaries at their home, and at one point claimed that Gannon had threatened her with a knife. Are you kidding me now? No threats out of Gannon, even with or without a knife, Al Stauch said when he asked if he had ever witnessed anything like that. Gannon seemed like such a sweet, laid-back natured boy. You hear him in some of those audios the other day where he's crying, and it was, oh my God, it was heartbreaking. So he said that the last time he had seen Gannon alive was at the airport on January 25th, just 2 days before prosecutors allege he was attacked by Letitia Stauch. Me and Gannon were at the top of the stairs, and I gave him a hug. I always used to rub my fingers through his hair, and I just told him, "I love you," Al Stauch said. And something that I would always tell the kids when I had to leave or when they would go back to their mom's house, you know, you will always be in my heart, and I will be in your heart, and I'll see you when I get back. And he just said, "Okay, Daddy, I'll see you when you get back." Al says he remembers that like it was yesterday. I have absolutely no doubt what she did to this kid. During testimony, Al Stauch described a large green suitcase. Okay, hold on. Okay, they are outside. I'm not quite sure what that was. Give me a second, guys. Just make sure that we don't have someone in there that shouldn't be. 2 seconds. I do this now. Then later, get it done. Go into the studio. Everything's running really, really slow. Got a little bit of blue sky out there today. We have got to something like +10, which is very, very good for this time of year. Bring on spring for it. Baby pets. Okay, give me just out there, guys. I go there. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Okay, we had someone trying to glom on in here, and we cannot have that. Okay, so let's get back to this. Sorry about that, guys. It's just when I see somebody in there that looks like they may be a troll that's gotten in and is hiding, I like to get in there and delete them as fast as I can. And Mark, get set, go. Okay, so on the stand, he described how Gannon was born 4 months premature and only weighed 1.5 pounds. Can you imagine, guys? That's like 1.5 pounds of butter, like just 1.5 bricks of butter. Wow. He said he didn't get to hold him until he's about a month old. The last time I got to hold him, he was in a box about this big as well, he said through tears. Oh my God. 6 months after he died. Okay, let's see if this is long. Yeah, we're not going to do this, guys. It is, if you want to, again, 9 News, or click on in here.
I'm sorry, 1-3.
There we go. Because you can get up-to-date trial coverage. So absolutely worth it. All righty, so let's jump over here. No problem, Dandy. No problem. 70 out. I wonder what that is. Sounds hot, though. Okay, I'm not sure what this is.
State now to an 11 breaking news alert. A day of 5 witnesses, evidence photos, and videos. And the trial for Letitia Stauch, the Colorado Springs area woman accused of killing her stepson, Gannon Stauch.
Those who took the stand include a man who says he found Gannon's remains, Florida law enforcement, local law enforcement, and the victim's father. 11 News reporter was there once again for it all. She's live outside of the El Paso County Courthouse. Graphic details have unfolded this trial.
Adam. Perhaps one of the most telling moment today is when we heard from a bridge inspector, Florida. He found Gannon's remains when working early. He says this happened in March. One hardest mentions at that time about him and the Stauch has to be interviewed writer. Can't miss it.
Did it seem like that the defendant was just save you?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Feelings are honest, but we need to work together to find what is there to hide from.
Letitia Stauch's defense lawyers did their questioning of Al's about Letitia Stauch's mental health before
wow, hey,
going to counseling at one
Colorado Springs, Colorado. 5 witnesses, photos, videos. were all part of the evidence presented on the third day of trial for the Colorado Springs area woman accused of attacking her stepson. Letitia Stauch, accused of attacking Gannon Stauch, was slightly more open to the room on Wednesday, as previously reported. She's largely been covering her face to the room with her hair. On Wednesday, she was looking up and had her hair pushed out of her face at several points. She had also been taking notes and was literally regularly talking to her defense team. Yeah, that's very unusual because she was usually doing Cousin It. Prosecutors brought a bridge inspector based in Florida to the stand, who paused for breath when telling the jury about finding Gannon's remains. He said he was doing a routine bridge inspection on March 17, 2020, when he saw a suitcase below that bridge near Pensacola. He went below to check it out, noticed that it was heavy, and said it had a smell that came out of it when he opened it up. He says he then saw two little feet with football socks, and he knew that it was human remains. He called local law enforcement, who confirmed that it was Gannon Stauch, who had been missing since January 27th of that year. So, which literally means that she drove up on that bridge, pulled over, and chucked the suitcase. Following that, a Western Florida detective took the stand. He says they were able to confirm the remains were that of Gannon based on the missing poster that had been circulating for him. A detective with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office testified without having found cleaning brushes with carpet fiber in them at the Stauch home in the Lorson Ranch. He testified about having found, not have. Got it. An El Paso County Sheriff's deputy testified about Letitia Stauch's calm demeanor the night he responded to the Lorson Ranch family home for a call of a runaway child. His body cam video was shown where Letitia Stauch is heard and seen cooperating with investigators in the moments when the search for Gannon started. So, yeah. Unreal. I just really, I couldn't imagine. Oh, brutal. Good luck. Good luck, Dandy. Okay, Melissa, thank you. So, let's see here if there's anything else that you might want to know before the next week starts up. Well, we've talked about this before, but just in case you didn't look back, we'll mention this as well because it is rather interesting. Oh, there we go. Yes, got it. So, jump over here. Oh, I like the way you put that. These things are like skipping rocks, many ripples. Yeah, I like how you put that. Nice. So I found this really interesting too. We did go through it in a previous video, but I think we'll just touch on it again. So it's saying that a neighbor testified that she had attempted to pay her to lie to law enforcement. Letitia wanted her to lie about, I do believe, video footage. So new testimony Friday revealed that Letitia Stauch, accused of attacking her 11-year-old stepson, Gannon Stauch, in January 2020. I'm going to enlarge this for you guys. One little bit more. So, accused of killing her 11-year-old stepson, Gannon Stauch, in January 2020, and attempted to bribe a neighbor to lie to law enforcement weeks after Gannon was reported missing. Totally what innocent people do. Friday afternoon marked the end of the first week of the Stauch trial, and the prosecution spent significant portions of the day asking witnesses about Stauch's demeanor after Gannon's disappearance. The most significant testimony of the day came on the day's 11th and final witness, Nicole Mobley, who was a former neighbor of the Stauchs. Mobley testified that she had met Lori on one occasion before Gannon's disappearance, and that Gannon was reported missing. She and her husband spent hours looking for him. Mobley said she even reached out to Stauch via Facebook to ask her where she and her husband should be looking for Gannon. So get this, Lori blocked her. Yes, blocked her. No response, just blocked her. Mobley stated she messaged Stauch again several weeks later on a new Facebook profile on February 19th to continue asking questions regarding Gannon, which eventually led to Stauch asking her neighbor to lie to the law enforcement for her. Stauch told Mobley via text message, via text message, that were displayed in court, yes they were, that a man had broken into her home, assaulted her, and took Gannon along with a suitcase. So this is a totally different story from what we're used to. She's come up with this one. She's come up with, I don't know if it was Eduardo or if it was, I don't know which one of these imaginary people, but she said that they laid down across the road, so she had to stop, and then he got into the vehicle and did all sorts of bad things. Like, her stories don't even make sense. The story Stauch told Mobley was similar to the one she told her husband and Gannon's father, Al Stauch, over the phone on February 14th. However, during several phone calls between Al and Letitia on February 14th, the recordings of which were played in court, I really, if you have not seen them, go back to one of my previous lives and it's all there. The recordings of which were played in court Wednesday, Letitia Stauch eventually admitted to making the story up before pivoting on to a news story about Gannon having an accident on his bike before being taken from a man named Quincy Brown. Oh my God. Eventually, the conversation with Mobley, Stauch writes that she needs a witness for the police to believe her story. At one point, even offering Mobley money to call her husband and report that she had seen Gannon getting into a vehicle with a strange man on the night of January 27th. What if you just said you remembered something suspicious seeing this picture and explained the description and you didn't think that it was relevant until now because the kid had come over. Okay, because the kid had the same cover. Sorry, my dogs are distracting me. Stauch wrote that after sending a photo of Gannon with the blankets his body was later found in, I swear to you, I didn't do this. I just need help with someone getting this out there so they can start posting in other states. Mobley, who claimed she did not believe Stauch's story during their text conversation, stated that after receiving those messages from Stauch, she reported them and turned her phone over to law enforcement. Good on her. Further testimony was heard from a co-worker of Letitia's daughter, who let Stauch know that her daughter stayed at her home the night of January 29th, 2020. Janine Sanchez testified to how she believed it was strange that Stauch had asked to stay at her home when originally she had only planned on letting Stauch's daughter, Haley, hunt stay that evening. Yeah, how weird. Letitia is just like, well, I know you're my daughter's friend, but can I stay too? Who does that? So furthermore, Sanchez stated she found it weird that when she and Hunt picked up Stauch, she said, I hope you don't think we're a bunch of murderers. Gannon was reported missing 2 days before this incident, Sanchez testified. Testimony regarding Stauch's suspicious behavior after Gannon had reported missing continued when Christopher Ganstein, a deputy with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, testified to his interaction with Stauch. Ganstein testified that he was leading a team conducting covert surveillance on Stauch, and that after following Stauch and Hunt to a Marshall store in Colorado Springs, they issued a warrant to seize Stauch's car and phone. When Ganstein confronted Stauch outside Marshall's, he claimed she attempted to sprint from the deputies, threw her car keys across the parking lot. Ganstein clarified that Stauch was not under arrest. She threw her keys and started to run. Just totally normal she was behaving. Good God. It was an unusual action, Ganstein said. Fair enough. 2 members of law enforcement with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office testified on Friday to Stauch's behavior being evasive and unusual. She was being asked, she was just being stopped, and her reaction was to throw her keys and to run. In addition to testimony regarding Stauch's behavior, the prosecution continued to try to build evidence proving the defendant's sanity on Friday, asking a slew of witnesses questions about Stauch's mental health in the days leading up to and following Gannon's reported disappearance. The heavy questioning regarding Stauch's sanity comes as a result of her plea, which is not guilty by reason of insanity. You guys can weigh that one out yourself, but thinking she's sane, just, I mean, you can be psychotic and you can be sane. You can be narcissistic and be sane. You can be sociopathic and be sane. You cannot be, for the most part, in my opinion, a schizophrenic with no meds and drinking alcohol. To me, that's not sane. But my opinion. District Attorney Michael Allen told the 8-person jury composed of 11 men and 7 women. I wonder how that'll work out. A report from the state hospital in Pueblo found Stauch to be sane at the time she allegedly did this. Defense attorney Will Cook claims that a defense-hired expert, Dr. Dorothy Lewis, found Stauch had a psychotic crack at the time she allegedly attacked Gannon and thus found her insane. So all the witnesses who were asked Friday stated Stauch did not appear to have a severe mental illness during their interactions. Defense attorney Josh Tellini objected to several questions by the prosecution regarding Stauch's mental health, but Judge Gregory Werner did overrule most of them. On Wednesday, Stauch gave a definitive statement regarding his opinion of his ex-wife's sanity, and he said, I believe she is and was absolutely sane, Stauch said when asked by the prosecution if he believed Letitia Stauch was insane. From the time I met her to even today, she's sane. So we are back to trial tomorrow morning. It starts at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So prosecutors expect testimony regarding Gannon's autopsy at some point tomorrow. So I will be streaming this live, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. It has been pretty interesting, and ever since they fixed the view and they got the volume figured out, it's a little bit more pleasant to watch. When they had it like just strictly that table at the very, very end, it wasn't, it was really, really dry to watch because you couldn't see anything. You know what, Dandy? I agree with you. Sorry, but I don't think that people are temporarily insane, especially as an excuse to get away with crimes. Oh, that's it. I don't think that a perfectly stable person goes from being the absolute perfect parent, perfect friend, all of this stuff. And not at, you know, she didn't lose her mind. She's evil, in my opinion. You just don't go through your entire life and then at that age decide it's going to be a psychotic break. There's usually mental health issues all the way through. So again, my opinion. So guys, again, tomorrow morning, I'll be a couple minutes early so we can chit chat, maybe look at a panda bear. And I hope that for anybody who has not been watching, happy Easter, Mind of Monsters. M&M, we love her. Sub up. All of her information is also in the description. So, you know what? I am going to say peace. And thanks again for being here with me. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great evening, guys.